All right, this time on the AnyVoices podcast, I am joined by the man, the myth, the urban legend, if you will, Damon Alums. Welcome to the AnyVoices podcast, my friend.
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. You know what? The other half of the family says it, alums. My branch of the family is Alums.
Alums. Oh, well, I like that because I mean, my last name is Allen, so you know. Alums. All right. Well, I apologize.
Hey, no stress.
I definitely want to say it the right way. So, I mean, I heard your start, if I'm reading this right, is you were doing morning announcements in high school. You got behind a mic and basically jumped into drama and theater, and the rest is history.
My path has taken a long and wandering road to get here. But yeah, it all started in high school. Daily announcements. My voice switched to basically what you hear now, and folks are like, "Oh my goodness, would you like to read the daily?" Okay, sure, let's give it a try. And found I had a knack for it. Lived my life and ended up back behind the mic, and I've been loving every minute of it.
Nice. Yeah, I too fell behind a microphone in high school, and I just have been stuck there ever since. So happily stuck there. Definitely not upset about that at all. And you and I met on a place that anybody who's listening to this needs to go to, and that is the hashtag VO Life Chat on Twitter with Miss Doree Allen Nieves. I hope I'm saying that one properly. And so I see you on there all the time. I mean, all the great people are, really. So anybody who's in voiceover should be there. And I'm sure you feel the same way, that people should be jumping on that and answering the questions and connecting with mystery. And
absolutely. To describe it, because as a comic book reader, everybody's had their issue number one. So let's jump to the beginning with the basic description. VO Live Chat is an interactive interview show once a month on a specific topic where everybody is the featured guest. The questions are asked, you give your answers. Folks who have information delivered in a way that works for you can easily end up as folks that you can follow on Twitter. I have found it an invaluable resource to garner opinions and information and make connections for very, very valued peers, yourself included, because that's how we met.
That definitely is. And I think that's one of the nice things is that, yeah, the questions that are asked, it's never the same. You know, it's always kind of some topic that's either, you know, going on or that people should learn about. And I definitely feel like you hit on a good word right there that I like: perspective. And it's something that a lot of people who I think are starting out in voiceover don't have much of. And so to get some perspective, that's one of the reasons why I started this podcast, is I wanted to basically reach out, give advice, maybe not make the same mistakes that I'm sure you and I probably have along the way, because we all make them at some point in time.
Absolutely.
But, you know, it's good to avoid some of the easy pitfalls. And so, I mean, after kind of jumping behind that microphone, what was it really that, you know, what was it that pulled you in to doing, you know, voiceover and acting? Because, I mean, you definitely do a combination of the two, it seems.
Yeah, as a high school drama geek, and having such a fertile imagination myself, jumping into the skin of another character is something that I enjoy and something that comes relatively naturally to me. What led me back, this is like, me putting myself out real for a minute. It was after my divorce, with the reassessment and starting over that entails.
Yep.
I did an interest inventory. What am I good at? What do I love? What can I get started on? And voiceover. Yeah, with some basic tools, I could pursue this dream that I have put on the shelf since just after high school.
Wow.
Yeah, let's pursue that. Let's do that. And with no other options, burnt my bridges and jumped into voiceover with both feet. And um, every time I have invested, it has come back to me tenfold.
Nice. I have to say, I'm with you there. Every time I make an investment, it's never been a foolish one, with the exception of my first couple of purchases.
Well, yeah, starting out, everybody makes their knucklehead moves. So
Yeah.
as long as you only make your mistakes once, they're not F-ups.
There you go. Yeah, I bought the wrong gear. And I'll tell you one thing that took me a while to figure out is microphone cables. It took me a while to realize that was where a lot of my issues were coming from. So invest in good cables, people.
Actually, yeah, the pieces that link your big pieces of equipment together are as important, if not more important,
Yeah.
than the big investment.
Yep. I pulled out one of my old microphones and I connected it to in my studio, in my booth, which is behind me. I have Megami Studio Gold, cables, and connecting that old microphone to those, I'm like, boy, this sounds so much better than it did back then. I can't believe clients paid me for this, but I'm so glad that they did.
No doubt.
Now, one of the things I think that I saw come up in your profile is that you are a BLERD. So what is a BLERD, and does that help you?
Vocabulary acquisition, BLERD, combination of black and nerd.
Nice.
I have been a BLERD since birth. Yeah. Captain Kirk came on well after my bedtime, and I remember sneaking out of bed, risking my mother's wrath to catch the adventures of the Starship Enterprise.
Nice.
Yeah, knowing my mom, that's a big, big risk. But you know what? I had to find out what those guys were doing, especially the friendly, creepy guy with the long ears and the blue shirt. He was my man, always has been.
Oh, yeah,
yeah. Star Trek, anime, comic books. I've got a taste for it all. And being that I am of a certain age, I am relegating myself to the back of the bus as the new guy coming in. I have come to realize that the age of the superheroes is nearing its end because the young folks have a different focus. I came up in the 70s where fighting capital T, capital M, fighting the man was the way things go, which caters itself to superheroes. The good guys are fighting this big bad guy, the man, clash, destruction. Yes, and we are victorious. But the new folks have more interior dialogue, which leads to different kinds of stories. And the advent of the different branches of anime that I see blowing up right now.
It's not fantastic. I've never seen more anime out than I do now, and pretty well done, to be honest.
Yeah. It's not my thing. I have had to pick and choose of the pieces that everybody is talking about, and I am coming to realize that that's okay. I'm still a nerd. I've got a vast multitude of background experience that can be called on, like, oh yeah, I remember this old thing that parallels to what you guys are doing now. So yeah, black nerd since birth, but I'm enjoying the way that the times are changing and a status as an elder. I'm becoming more comfortable with that.
Yeah, I'm of a certain age as well. This is an original.
He got the R2.
It actually works, except for the batteries that are in it right now are burned out. But yeah, that's the original R2 unit from what, Hasbro or something. Really? Anyway.
Oh yeah, Kenner.
You're right, Kenner Toys. Yeah. And I definitely have enjoyed that as well. I think you're right. The inner shift, the inner turmoil that happens is what's taken over a lot of the animation, and that's okay. We were always fighting. I feel like we nerds, because I definitely include myself in that group. We're always fighting for what was just and fair and right, and I think that's fantastic. It's fantastic that the man is decreasing in, and it's more the inner turmoil that temporarily affects people, those mistakes and recovering from them, if you will. A lot of the people aren't necessarily evil, they're infected by evil, and
Mm.
and they can often be cured. Not always, but now,
But figuring that out is where the story
and
develops.
that's where the story lies, right? And it's interesting going on that journey. So now that kind of brings me to a question I want to ask you, because I feel like some people have seen this, have done this, have learned from this, and it's something that I don't think I really heard before, probably about a year ago, and it's blackface in voiceover. And I think that really, transmutes to other things as well. But obviously, um, having you on the horn, I wanted to, just kind of get your opinion on that. I'll share mine as well. But, have you run into that? Have you seen that? Any opinion that you have on that topic?
Whew. Woosah breath.
deep clenching breath. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. This one is a touchy subject that the industry has noticed and is making a positive shift to adapt to. But it's still a heavy subject.
Right.
Again, being that this is somebody's issue number one, if I understand you right, this is voice actors of any ethnicity
Right.
shoehorning their interpretation into a specific ethnicity.
Right.
For the example that you state, it would be everybody in voiceover land auditioning for a Black character.
Yep.
Uh, to answer, I am a populist. I want everybody to get along and be happy, and it's hard for me to poke fingers to chests, draw hard lines, and tell folks to back off. That's just not who I want. Just everybody, let's just get along and smile and love. And to address a subject like this, some hard lines have to be drawn and fingers poked to chests
Yeah.
to folks who feel some kind of way. One man's interpretation of this, I'll answer by way of hyperbole.
Okay.
Dragons, no basis in real life. Everybody go for it.
Right.
Smurfs, the entire human rainbow, go ahead and audition for that part. Elves, likewise, hobbits, and so on. If it's a fantasy character, everybody should get a chance. If the read is based on a real life ethnicity, until such time as the industry has become the open, welcome, understanding playing field it purports itself to be, until that time, if the read is based in a real life ethnicity, voice talent of that ethnicity should be the ones auditioning. In the rare case, again, going on your example of blackface, which would be referring to Black folks, African Americans, if you have a lifelong tie to the culture, that might be a way in. There are folks, again, going on your example, of all ethnicities who have grown up in and around the cultural touchstones of that ethnicity and have made them their own. If your agent knows about you, and that would require a very, very, very soft touch and an agent of stuff dreams are made of, then I would be comfortable with that agent sending that audition to that tangentially involved, connected, non-Black voiceover talent.
Okay.
That's a rare case.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is, and I think that, like everything, there's always some gray in the decision making. Um, it's one of those areas where 10 years ago, I think I was asked to do something, and I kind of hesitated. I didn't feel great about it, but I'm in front of the client, and I don't want to say no, and I did, and never felt good about that. I've always felt a little bit like, "Damn, I shouldn't have done that. And I think that it's one of those cases, hindsight was 2020. And looking back on that, from today's perspective, I'm like, man, that really probably wasn't okay. And um and really isn't okay, I think now for me, especially. I grew up in the Northeast, and I I don't have that connection, as you're saying. So I agree with you that I think that until that full representation spectrum is there, where everybody has access to everything, which I don't think is the case today, that we should have
Sure.
that representation of people, and it should be, whatever the ethnicity. If it's Native American, uh, if it's somebody from the Caribbean, I don't think that somebody should be putting on a fake accent, which may not even be the right accent. And then you're
Yeah, that's
perpetuating
true.
some sort of a stereotype through that. That I think that you should get as close to, that character in the real world as you can, as you're saying, when it's based on a real life character, or that character is based in reality. I think it's a fair thing to say, Smurfs, Yoda, like, hey,
Yep.
go for it.
Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Yeah, it's a case of know better, do better.
Mm,
So I don't fault your audition back in the day. I mean, young voice talent, thirsty for work, made a choice
yep.
that you wouldn't make today. I mean,
Right.
so I see the decision back then that you would do differently now. You know what? That's all right by me. Um, yeah, mistakes are mistakes. They're F ups if you repeat them.
Yep. I completely agree. And I think that, it's something that, somebody's asked me this, and I'll ask you it as well. Is there, would you go back to your younger self and teach yourself and tell yourself not to make some of those mistakes? Or do you think that recovering was part of that whole process, and you wouldn't have learned it if you hadn't gone through it?
See, now you're getting again touching on Star Trek with temporal anomalies and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Are
Now
we
you
gonna
got my
we're gonna
brain
warp
spinning.
space and time?
um, Surviving those mistakes has led me to the place where I am, and I wouldn't change that for the world. So you know what? I'll take the scars.
I'm right there with you. I think that the scars definitely remind us, of those valuable lessons, and it takes a little bit, to become who you are and what you are. And again, just like you, I wouldn't, most of the mistakes that I made were pretty small, and I recovered from them all pretty well, and I've kept most of the clients that I've wanted to through those processes. um, and honestly, it was pressure from clients a lot of times that made me make mistakes, sometimes. So that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, well, I guess in that vein is what's the worst advice somebody ever gave you in voiceover? Is there anything that sticks out in your head that you're just like, man, I wish I'd been told that. I wish I hadn't followed that. That person had no idea what they were talking about. Anything jump out at you?
The obstacles that folks put in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you can do that?
Mm.
Are you sure you're built for that? Is this really a good idea? By that time, my bridges had already been burned, and their opinions were my kindling.
There you go.
Yeah. So again, with that 1970s Generation X mindset, like, you know what? I'm gonna bust through the door anyway.
Yep. I run toward fear. I tell people that all the
Yeah,
time. Like,
that
that was a conscious decision, and it's still a conscious effort, but I used to run from fear as a kid. And at one point I just kind of flipped that mindset, and I said, you know what, if I'm afraid, it's probably something I need to do.
yeah.
And I
More often than not, it's a dog with no teeth.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like, that door looks dangerous, but boy, you open it up and you're like, I was
It
scared of
was
this the whole
unlocked. What
time.
was I doing?
Yeah.
The
Why was
door
I
wasn't
scared of
even
that?
locked.
It's not nearly as bad as I imagined. And I guess that's the issue, is that I have a good imagination, which helps sometimes, when I'm trying to do those characters, or I'm trying to do, a voiceover. So I guess
Yeah, it can.
conversely, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut
And
you off.
now that imagination can help with copy, but it also can create monsters where there are none. So yeah, right there
Definitely.
with you.
Definitely can. Was there any kind of like great advice? There are some gold nuggets that you can just drop on us, that urban legend voiceover note that everybody should write down.
um, it usually ends up being platitudes and mission statements that are so recycled.
Yeah.
But Muhammad Ali, the hero of my kindergarten years, had a quote that I posted up a couple days ago
Okay.
because I was not feeling it. Well, you know what? Don't want to go in this booth. Don't want to be around these lights. I'm going to take today off. And this quote came back to me. Paraphrased, it is, I trained hard all the time. I detested training, but I told myself, said Muhammad Ali, don't quit and live your life as a champion. That bounced off of my resistance, and I was up like a shot. Like, you know what? Nah, I am not punking out. I am a champion.
There you
I will
go.
do what I set out to do, and let's go. Let's go. Time to get it done.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. I was in there.
All right. I like that. I like that. Yeah. I think, definitely we've got to have our own, kind of heroes in a way to get us through those things. And yeah, I mean, platitudes are platitudes, and kind of everybody's got one. But yeah, that's a great piece of advice that, um, really ultimately a lot of the times I've been in my way, right? It's been me that's been in my way some of these times, and it took a while to see it. So, when you were in your way and you realized it, hey, you know what? I don't need to stand in my way. I can get out of the way and let me do what I need to do.
Exactly so. Keep that momentum going, because once it's gone, so hard to get it back.
Yeah.
So hard to get it back.
All right. Well, let's talk now about, if you can reveal it. I know right now I'm working on something. I can't talk about it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to talk about it.
Don't break the NDA.
I have so
Don't
many
break
NDAs.
the
I just treat
NDA.
everything. I just treat everything like it's, but I know this one is. Any upcoming projects that you can tell us about?
I am excited about an audio drama that I'm involved in the Warhammer 40K universe. Brief description for those who are not acquainted. Take your standard issue Dungeons and Dragons or Lord of the Rings type world with elves and warriors and such.
Mm-hmm.
Take that, put it in the future where they have starships and space soldiers, and go. That's Warhammer 40K. So there's magic, there's outer space soldiers, there's away teams going down to planets. And this Warhammer 40K is extremely dark.
Okay.
Extremely dark. So for folks who are not acquainted, Lord of the Rings in space with a Game of Thrones feel appeal to it.
But I can kind of get into that. I think I can get behind that.
Yeah, I play the part of Bastalik Kent, who is a supremely skilled general with a dark magical secret. He practices a brand of dark magic that is outlawed. So he's on the DL, but he's a general. Using touch points for the story, Saving Private Ryan, but everybody is a bastard.
Like
There are no
nobody's
good
out to
guys
save
in
him.
this story. No, no. When we find this guy, he might not make it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to check this out. I'm gonna have to definitely check this out.
That's dropping the beginning of next year.
Well, that is very cool. Well, that is pretty awesome to have that, knowing that that's coming right up. You're going to have to definitely, if there's any links to that, you're going to have to send it. I'm going to have to put that in the show notes. I mean, I'll obviously
no
connect
question.
you. What's that?
Oh, no question. Be glad to.
Yeah. Got to do it. Got to do it. People got to know about this. Well, I'm definitely going to make sure that I get the link to your website, urbanlegendvoiceover.com. I know on Twitter, you're Urban Legend VO. Now you've got another one, but I don't know if you're active on that one. So.
Oh no, that's my dad. That's my dad account where I explore comic books and just random dad stuff, UFC and things of that nature.
Nice. Well, we'll go with all the links to the Urban Legend VO stuff. And I definitely thank you very much for joining me. If there's anything more you want to leave us with, I mean, you've already given us so much. I don't want to take up more of your time, but I definitely thank you for being here and stopping by, Damon.
Thank you very much. Parting shot. I am gathering a crew of like-minded voice actors to take on the Batman mythos. It's a little project I call the Batman Project. This is going to be, and it's done when it's done, but it's going to be faithful to the comic book page. No crazy casting decisions. We are going to be taking the best issues and redoing them in audio play form.
I like that.
So yeah, that'll be dropping real soon.
I like that. Now, did some people share some samples of things that they recorded for that, if I recall, a little while back?
Oh, actually, I did an Instagram, what is it called? Product test or proof of concept.
Proof of concept.
Proof of concept. Yeah, a little one-man act of Batman, a triumphant scene where he says, you know what? All the villains said that they got me beat. But you know what? I'm still here. Yeah. I needed to rally. I actually did that one on my birthday. That was a birthday present to me.
Very nice. I'm like, this is ringing so familiar. Well, I'll definitely have to either provide a link to that or, when it's up, provide a link to that. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I love Batman is definitely one of my favorite superheroes because he's the only one. His only superpower is money. Like, he worked for everything else. And he gets really beat up.
But he's still here. He keeps going. Yeah, that's what I love about him too.
Got it. Tenacity, and you got to have that if you're going to be doing this for a career. That's for darn sure.
No question.
All right. Well, Damon, I appreciate you joining us, taking the time out, and you have a fantastic rest of your day. And I'll see you on.
Likewise. Thank you for having me, man.
All right.
Yes. We'll see you soon.
All right. Take care. Many thanks to Damon for being a guest today. If you'd like to be a guest, have a suggestion, definitely let us know. Head over to AnyVoices.com or find us on social media and let us know. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time, let's do one more take.